I was on a mission to get wiser, but I was looking in all the wrong places. I'd fill every spare moment with podcasts, articles, and just endless scrolling, thinking that the more I consumed, the smarter I'd get. Instead, I just felt loud. My head was a chaotic, noisy library full of everybody else's thoughts. So, I decided to try something a little radical. I stopped actively seeking new information and started listening, not to anything new, but to the everyday silence I'd been so desperate to fill. This journey uncovered a hidden layer of reality I never knew was there, and the wisdom I found was more profound than anything I could have read in a book. When I first committed to this, the silence was anything but peaceful. It was deafening. In those first few days, every quiet moment felt like a void that screamed to be filled. When I was driving, my hand would instinctively reach for the radio. Waiting in line, my thumb would start twitching, desperate to unlock my phone and dive back into the digital noise. It was a physical craving for distraction, a reflex I'd built up over years. The most uncomfortable moments, though, were the social ones. I started this practice of deep listening, which is really just a fancy way of saying I tried to stop planning my comeback while the other person was still talking. It sounds so simple, right? It was excruciating. The pauses in conversation, which I used to rush to fill, suddenly stretched into what felt like chasms of awkwardness. I realized how much I spoke not because I had something to say, but because I was afraid of saying nothing at all. My inner world was just as turbulent. When I'd sit for just 5 minutes with no podcast, no music, no screen, my internal chatter would roar to life. It was this relentless monologue of to-do lists, anxieties, and half-baked opinions I'd picked up from somewhere. This inner noise, it turns out, is why a lot of us avoid quiet. We're scared of what we'll find when we're left alone with our own thoughts. The silence wasn't empty. It was a mirror, reflecting the chaos I was carrying around inside me. It became very clear that this journey wasn't going to be about finding some monk-like peace overnight. It was going to be a confrontation. After that initial storm of discomfort, something started to shift. The first big change wasn't some lightning bolt of insight, but a slow, subtle retuning of my senses. As the constant buzz of external and internal noise began to fade, a new layer of reality started to appear, one that had been there all along, just drowned out. I started noticing the little things. The way the sunlight cast moving patterns on my floor in the afternoon. The surprisingly complex rhythm of a bird's song. The taste of my morning coffee, without a screen in front of my face, became this rich, grounding ritual. This wasn't just me appreciating the small things, my brain was literally rewiring itself. Neuroscience tells us that when we're in a state of quiet reflection, our brain activates the default mode network, or DMN. This is the part of the brain tied to thinking about ourselves, consolidating memories, and seeing the bigger picture. It's in these moments of stillness that our mind can finally process our experiences, connect ideas, and let genuine self-awareness bloom. It felt like my mind was a shaken snow globe that was finally being allowed to settle. For years, I kept everything in constant motion, believing that all that flurry and activity was progress. But in the stillness, the glitter started to settle, and the scene inside became clear. My thoughts weren't a tangled mess anymore. I could just watch them without judgment, letting them pass like clouds. This is the heart of mindfulness, a practice that silence naturally teaches. It's not about emptying your mind, but about seeing what's already in it with total clarity. This new clarity didn't just feel peaceful. It felt like a type of intelligence, an intuitive understanding that comes not from cramming in more information, but from making the space to process what's already there. My silence experiment didn't just change my inner world, it fundamentally changed my relationships. I'd always thought of communication as an active, verbal game. The goal was to be heard, be witty, add your 2 cents. But as I leaned into social silence, I found that some of the most powerful communication happens when nobody's saying a word. By consciously choosing to listen more than I spoke, I was giving people a profound gift, the space to be truly heard. In conversations, instead of jumping in with advice or a story of my own, I just hold back and offer a silent, attentive presence. And people started opening up in ways they never had before. A friend going through a tough time didn't need my 5-point plan to fix her life. She just needed to feel that someone was right there with her, sharing the weight of it without trying to solve it. In those moments, silence communicates empathy and respect way more powerfully than a string of well-intentioned clichés ever could. In many cultures, silence isn't awkward or a failure of conversation. It's a sign of deep thought and respect. Now, this isn't to say all silence is good. We've all been on the receiving end of the silent treatment. That's a negative silence used to punish someone, and it's destructive. But intentional, positive silence is totally different. It's a tool for building trust. In a negotiation, a strategic pause can show confidence and strength, often getting the other person to say more than they planned. In a team, a leader who actually listens quietly creates an environment where people feel safe to share their best ideas. I learned that we're often so busy performing in our conversations that we miss the real dialogue happening underneath, in the body language, the tone, and in what isn't being said. By embracing the quiet, I wasn't just hearing words anymore, I was starting to understand people. It turned potential arguments into conversations and shallow exchanges into moments of real connection. If any of these ideas about finding wisdom in the quiet are clicking with you, and you're curious about finding more ways to live a deeper, more intentional life, I'd love for you to join this community. A simple way to support the journey is by liking this video and subscribing for more. But the biggest change, the one that really altered things for me, was discovering what lies beneath all that mental chatter, a clear, quiet, intuitive wisdom. For most of my life, I'd outsource my decisions. I looked to experts, reviews, and my friends' opinions, assuming their collective wisdom had to be better than my own. But in the deep quiet I had cultivated, another voice started to come through. You can call it intuition, your inner voice, or as Herman Melville called it, God's one and only voice. This isn't some mystical, magical thing. It has a real biological basis. Our modern world keeps us in a near constant state of fight or flight, jacked up on stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. This chronic stress clouds our judgment and makes our minds race. Research has shown that even just a few minutes of silence can be more relaxing than listening to so-called relaxing music, by actively lowering blood pressure and steadying our breathing. When you let your nervous system take a break, you shift from a state of reactive panic to one of calm observation. And it's in that calm state that you make better decisions. Free from the pressure of external noise and your own anxiety, your thoughts have a chance to organize themselves. The answers you've been frantically searching for, out there, often just surface with this effortless clarity. I found this to be true in big and small ways. I got better at knowing what I truly wanted versus what I felt I should want. I could feel the difference between a genuine yes and a yes that was really just powered by guilt. This inner compass was always there, but its whispers were drowned out by the shouting of the world. By practicing silence, I was finally learning to hear it. This is the source of real confidence, not the loud, showy kind, but a quiet, unshakable knowing that comes from within. My challenge to embrace silence started as a simple experiment, an antidote to a life that felt too noisy. But it turned into a journey into the nature of wisdom itself. I learned that silence isn't an absence, it's a presence. It isn't empty, it's full of answers. The world teaches us to connect wisdom with words and action with volume. We're told to speak up, to be heard, to hustle, to add more. But I found a different kind of power, a power in stillness, a strength in holding back, and a deep wisdom in just listening. I learned that the most important conversations we'll ever have are with ourselves, and those can only happen when we're quiet enough to hear them. You don't have to go on a week-long silent retreat or make some huge life change to find this. The wisdom of silence is woven right into our daily lives, waiting in the pauses between our words, in the quiet moments of the early morning, and in the simple choice to just be, without another distraction. So my challenge to you is simple. Find just 10 minutes of intentional silence today. It might feel weird at first, it might even feel unproductive. But I really encourage you to push through that initial resistance. Turn off the noise, put down your phone, and just listen. Listen to the world around you, and listen to the world inside you. See what you discover in that quiet space. What's your relationship with silence like? Share your experience in the comments below. And if this journey resonated with you, subscribe for more explorations into finding the profound in the everyday. Thanks for listening.